Okay, so today we will be rereading Jane Goodall, Friend of the Forest, written by Christina Wilston. And then we will be focusing on some additional, on some verbs, okay? So let's start reading together. Jane Goodall hid in the hen house.
She was 5 years old and very curious. She wanted to see how the hens laid eggs.
She watched them quietly.
Still, every year she visits Gombe to see the chimpanzees and watch them quietly.
So, the end. So now we're going to go back and talk about some verbs here. We're going to go back to page 3. And what I want you to do is I want you to highlight all the verbs that you see in here. So I'm going to hand this over to you. Okay. Now, let's reread this together, okay? So it says Jane Goodall hid in the hen house. She was 5 years old and very curious. She wanted to see how the hens laid eggs. She watched them quietly. So when did this happen? Is this something that happened now, or is this something that happened in the past?
Past.
Okay, so why don't we highlight all the verbs on here? That's fine. That's fine. Maximilian.
Oh my God.
It's okay. Just go and highlight the others, please. That's the pen. You need one under. That's the pen. You need this one here. You need the highlighter. Go ahead and highlight the other verbs. What else? She was 5 years old. Where's the verb in there? She was. Was is the verb in here because it tells us this is when Jane was a little girl, yes? Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, please. Just move on to the next verb. Where's the next verb? Can you tell me out loud, please? Wanted, okay. Can you find another one? Watched. And so we have verbs here. We have hid, was, wanted, and watched. And those are all what kind of verbs? Are they past tense or present tense?
Past tense.
Why are they past tense?
Because they happened in the past.
They happened in the past. How? Because Jane in here was a little girl, right? Very good. So now we're going to talk about a little bit about present tense. Okay, so we're going to go to page 13, and I want you to read this with me. Today, Jane visits countries around the world. She eagerly tells people everywhere about forests and animals. So on here, when is this happening?
Today.
Today, so it's now, right? So can you highlight the verbs in here, the ones that tell us what she's doing? What is Jane doing? Visits. Visits. What else is she doing? Is countries a verb? No. What is countries? Countries would be a... Would that be a noun? Because it's a place?
Yeah, person, place, animal, or thing.
Or a thing, that's right.
Mommy, why is it turning blue?
That's fine. Can you just, and then go back to the highlighter option. There you go. And then highlight the other verb. That's going to be the next sentence. She eagerly tells people everywhere about forests and animals. What does she do? Tells. So we know these are present tense verbs because these are things that are happening now. Can you give me another example of a verb that would be present tense?
What's present tense again?
Things that are happening now, like Jane visits other countries. She tells people What's something that you would do?
Jane still help. I mean,
Jane
something that
helps.
Jane
The
helps.
chimpanzees still
Jane
helps. Okay.
Still helps the chimpanzees.
What about you? What would you like to do? What are you doing now?
Reading a story.
I am reading
a story.
Okay.
Which is a verb.
Okay. So sometimes we have these forms of verbs, but also sometimes we have verbs that end with an inflection, and it's called, when we put an ed, like we did on page 3 to watched or wanted, that also makes verbs past tense. So what I want you to do now is I want you to go through the whole story here, and I want you to highlight all the words, and well, actually we're gonna write all the words that end in ed on this board here, and we're gonna put them in 4 categories. Okay, you see how walked, you add an ed and it's walked. But study is a little bit more tricky because we have to change the y to an I, and then we have to do what?
Put a ed.
Very good. What about explore? Do you see how explore already ends in an e?
Yeah. You
So
take the e away and put an ed.
That's right, and that makes explored. Yes.
Yeah.
But see, hug it.
Or
Hug
you leave the e and just write a d.
a D. You could do it that way as well. Or hugged is a little bit more tricky because hug, you actually have to add another G, and then you add an ED. So we're going to go through this book, and let's see. Can you tell me, can you find a word on here that's ending with ED, and can you write it in the right place on the board, please? Okay. I'm going to move the chair out. You're going to have to stand up, Max, okay? I'm going to move this chair for you. So, do we find a word that ends in ND here? Can you just read it out loud?
Watched and wanted.
Okay, so where would those go?
Right in the first one, because you don't take any of the letters away, you just add an ed.
Okay, can you write them in there, please? So you have wanted. And watched. Very good. Now I went to the next page. Can you tell me what the verbs here are that end in ED?
The verbs that end here in ed are.
How about you highlight them and I'm going to write them down, but you're going to need to tell me where I need to write them down. There's one before that. Okay, we already have watched. What about another one? Ending in ED. Looked. Very good. Now, where would that go on my chart here?
Right in the first one, because you don't take away one, or you add two.
Okay, very good. Now, any other ones that you can see on that page that end in ED? Okay, let's go to the next page.
Wait.
I don't think there are anymore. Can you go to the next page, please? Okay, what about here? Do we see any of them that end in ED? Nope, let's go to the next page. Keep on looking.
Wait, studied.
Studied, very good. Now where would that go? Why is it right here? Because we have to do what?
Because we have to take away the Y and put an I and an E and an D.
Very good. Okay, let's go to the next page here. And
That
let's
caught my eye.
That caught, very good, because I missed that.
Jane climbed. That's a
Climbed,
verb.
okay. And where would that go?
Right in the front.
Very good, because we're just adding.
The ED.
I think there might be another one in there. Can you find it? Watched. Okay, but there's one more. Very good. Where would that go? Right there too? Oh my goodness, we're almost getting filled up here, huh?
Yep.
Let's find some other ones. Learned, okay. So where would learned go?
In the first one.
In the first one. Are we still? Oh, I see. Oh, you just passed it up. Used. Okay, where would that go?
That was tricky.
That is a little tricky. It's not as easy as the first few that we had. Why don't you look at explore? You see how explore, it ends in an E already? Right? Because use would be a present, right?
Wait, I think it's this one.
Very good. I think so too. Why is that? Because use already has an E,
Yeah,
right?
it already has an E, and you just pop in the D.
You pop in the D. Very good. Okay, let's go to the next page.
Change.
Oh, I see it already. How about the third sentence? Go down. Ending in ED, a verb ending in ED. That's a way to make it past tense. Okay. Where would that go? Where would hugged go?
Hugged.
And cuddle.
Go.
Cuddle, well, no, cuddle doesn't have an ED. It has, you might want to take that off.
But,
Cuddled. Okay, I see what you're saying. I didn't see that. Okay. So hugged, where would hug go first? Can you tell me?
Would go here.
Okay, because a present tense of hugged would be hug, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm giving you a hug
It would-
now,
Or
and I
hug.
hugged you before.
Hugged, it means past. It already
Yes,
happened.
that's right. And hug would be a present tense of that, correct?
Yeah.
What about cuddled?
Cuddled goes here
Very good.
because
I didn't think you were gonna get that one.
cuddle ends with the E, even
That's
though
right.
it doesn't have the magic E doesn't do anything
The magic
because
doesn't,
it can't reach.
right?
And you pop in the D.
You
and
pop
it's
in the D
cuddled.
and it's cuddled. Okay, let's do one more page and then we're going to be finished with this. Ooh, I see that tricky one again. Studied, okay. You need to, don't move the mouse when you press on it. Then you move it, okay. And, okay. Since we already have those on the board, we're going to skip past those, okay? But there's 3 more over there. Visited, okay. What's another one? I see 3. Explored, okay. One more. The chimpanzees did what? They watched Jane too. Okay, we already have watched on here, so we know where watch goes.
I wasn't gonna do that because we already did it.
Okay. What about explored? We already know where that goes. Well, no, we don't have it up here, but where would you put it? Explore. Okay, what's the present tense of explored?
The present tense of explored is explore.
Very good. Okay. What about visited?
Visited means they already did it, but the present is visit.
Visit.
Like
Now,
my-
visited is a little bit tricky because it doesn't really follow a rule like all of these.
Yeah.
Like you don't add a T, you just add the ED.
D.
So it's a little tricky because it has the consonant here, like, you know, but you don't double it up. So most of the verbs, if we change them to past tense, you add the ED. Sometimes you have to just add it on. You have to swap the Y for the I, or you have to add a D, or, you know, take away and add the ED, or you have to add another consonant and the ED.